Now, on your Monday morning drive.
I've said it many times, I never thought I was going to be in this point in my life.
Jon Rahm's meteoric rise continues with his second PGA Tour win as he climbs to number 2 in the world. Can he continue to roll on as he defends his title this week at Torrey Pines? Not if this guy has anything to say about it. Tiger Woods makes his 2018 debut in 4 days at a course he's somewhat familiar with.
An eagle finish. If you're going to go out in style.
Will Tiger's muscle memory kick in for another memorable Sunday in San Diego?
Unbelievable. I knew he'd make it.
And it's Super Bowl week for the golf industry as the PGA Merchandise Show comes to town. What can you expect this week from the miles and miles of show aisles? We'll preview the exciting week ahead on Morning Drive this Monday, January 22nd, 2018. And Tiger Woods grew up some 90 miles to the north of Torrey Pines. Has had some of his biggest moments in the game there. 7 PGA Tour wins, and yes, his last major championship, the 2008 U.S. Open at Torrey Pines. Of course, that putt got him into a Monday playoff against Rocco Mediate, which he would win. We welcome you inside Studio AP, Damon Hack, alongside a PGA Tour winner in Robert Damron. We saw that putt bouncing all over that putt.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about when you see Tiger Woods? Huge week for him this week, but we reflect on something that happened 10 years ago.
Well, I fully agree with Rocco. I knew it was going in. I mean, didn't we all? But you watch that over the years. I've seen that putt so many times. It bounces everywhere. All the preparation in the world can't account for that ball going in. It makes you believe in a touch of destiny. Like,
wow.
Tiger's just supposed to do it right. You could practice every day for the rest of your life, and that putt still doesn't have to go in. But Tiger Woods is Tiger Woods.
And maybe, just maybe, he can turn back the clock this week. We'll have a lot of Tiger Woods discussion, as you can imagine. Right now, we say good morning to Gary Williams and Paige McKenzie. What's up, guys?
Good morning, Damon. And yes, we're excited about Tiger, but I'm more excited how many times Damon will say 10 miles of show aisles starting on Wednesday. But what is happening now, Paige? Well, a young man who is now number 2 in the official world golf rankings. I'm just going to call him Rambo. Jon Rahm. Remarkable stuff what he's done. We'll get into some details in comparison to some players who burst onto the scene. But let's start with some highlights yesterday, Paige. Here on the par 3 13th from 210.
Yeah, this is what I thought was the shot of the day for Jon Rahm. Playing the toughest hole of the day for the players. What a shot.
That very narrow back portion of the green, he would tap that in and take the lead at 21 under par, but Andrew Landry would not go away.
And that's a great way to put it. He scrambled his way around anytime he missed a green, was getting up and down. This putter was so hot, kept him in it.
Certainly did, got him to 21 under par. We go back to Rahm. This is a very nice, delicate little shot, 64 yards.
Delicate, you saw it. The soft hands, the body rotation, that's how you pinch it. That's how you get the bounce check.
He would make that, get to 22 under par. We move ahead to the par 4 18th. Rahm has this 10-foot birdie putt to extend his lead to 2 shots.
I think all of us, by the end of the day, knew the read on this green. We saw these putts so many times, just not quite getting the read right on that one.
So he would post 67 and 22 under total. How about Landry on 18? Gotta have it. So he gets to 22, so now we've got a playoff. And after basically having the first 3 playoff holes, here on the 4th playoff hole, Rahm has this second shot from the right rough.
There were a lot of good shots, good approach shots coming into these holes on the playoff. This was another one of those, and you can see Landry sitting right there as well.
Yeah, he matched him, so Rahm was just slightly outside of Landry and just has enough to sneak it in that right edge, so Landry knows he needs to make to extend it to 5 holes.
And this you can tell, maybe just I have to get it to the hole, I have to make it. Ball kind of jumped off the putter face.
So Jon Rahm, in a playoff, defeats Andrew Landry 67 to Landry's final round of 68. Adam Hadwin, who's had success here, we know, final round of 68 for him. He ties for third alongside John Huh. Martin Pillar, very good week for him. That's a very, very nice paycheck. But let's get back to the guy who's now the newly minted number 2 ranked player in the world. In the last 365 days, Paige, it's been meteoric.
That is a very impressive word. Needless to say, part of it has to do with the fact that he hasn't been in competition for more than 2 years,
right,
which is part of the reason why he's able to move that quickly up the board, but up the board nonetheless.
Yeah, if we had to explain the divisor, we would need a couple more hours of programming. You know, when you consider what he's done and how he's done it, you look at the likes of Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth, same number of wins, and now Jon Rahm has 2 wins in his first 38 professional starts. He has 15 top 5s.
It's been incredible, the consistency and the high level of play that he's had throughout. And I remember moving into yesterday's round, we talked yesterday morning about who do you think has the edge? And Jon Rahm had come off of finishing his Saturday round with 3 bogeys in his last 6 holes. And I said, I'm not at all worried about the ability that Jon Rahm has to finish golf tournaments. And what I saw yesterday is I saw him put the pedal down at just after he made the turn, that near chip in on 12, the 13th hole birdie, the 14th hole, 2 shots, driver and wedge into those greens. And I really actually feel like he left shots out there as well. So it was almost as if he was playing at another level.
Right, there's no question. I mentioned some comparisons. First 38 worldwide starts, McIlroy had 1 win, 7 top 5s, and he was 16th in the world rankings. Spieth, 1 win, 9 top 5s. 13th in the world rankings. Jon Rahm, 4 worldwide wins, 15 top 5s, and now he's 2nd in the world. And you got to believe as we go forward, as the PGA Tour 2018, every time he shows up, and now he's going back to a place where he's in defense of that title with that incredible blitz on the inward 9 on Sunday, he's a favorite in every field. He's an absolute favorite in every field.
And he seems fearless.
Yep.
The level of confidence that he's playing with right now is pretty extraordinary.
It is. Damon, I mean,
it is extraordinary.
It's just something else.
It's remarkable. And I think, that's what's happening now. The stars are going to be out at Torrey Pines, folks. I think with a bye week for the NFL, a lot of the sports fans will be very interested in what happens at Torrey Pines, where you have the return of the 14-time major champ Tiger Woods. We just chronicled 8 victories there all time, including that U.S. Open in 2008, and the defending champ Jon Rahm, Robert Damron. We thought it would be fun to kind of do a side-by-side. Look at Tiger's 3rd round back in 2008 at the U.S. Open. This was the 13th hole.
There were some similarities between Rahm's finish and Tiger's finish on Saturday at the U.S. Open. Gosh, that was good. He did that with such regularity back in the day.
Hobbling around on a bad leg, still willing the ball to the hole for eagle. Now we fast forward to last year. Jon Rahm, same hole for eagle.
The greens might not be quite U.S. Open speed, but still, beautiful second shot in, and Rahm was going for his first win at this point, and that was awesome. He knew exactly what that meant.
We were just learning about the young man from Spain, knew he was a practice partner occasionally with Phil Mickelson. Now, back to Torrey, U.S. Open 2008, Tiger on 17.
Tiger had the bad leg. He didn't hit it that great. He won this event with a short game, and that, frankly, might have been the worst chip he hit all week. He had got away from him, hit the flag, and still went in.
In the reaction, we hadn't really seen that type of reaction. He knew it was ridiculous. And here's Rahm on the same hole.
He knew he stole one, but Rahm didn't steal one. He just stepped up and took it.
Absolutely. This was a young man, Arizona State, won 11 college tournaments, finding his way in the pro game. That would set up a birdie. Now 18, 2008, Tiger Woods for eagle.
And this was to get himself in the final group on Sunday. He knew what it meant. He knew he wanted it. Big stage. He's Tiger Woods. He makes them all.
It's just a sense of certainty. Now Jon Rahm, last year, Sunday, same hole, the 18th for eagle.
This was incredible because you notice how hard Tiger's putt broke from left to right. I've had this putt before. It does not break left. It does not break left. Watch this. Took that little turn left.
And a glimpse of the fire we would come to recognize. I imagine we'll see that fire in Paris as well. Gary Williams, some people just have a grasp of the moment.
They do, and some people have a grasp of certain golf courses. Tiger is 64 strokes better since 1998. Then the next best guy who has a very good record there, that's Phil Mickelson's scoring average. Eclipses that. He's the only guy sub 70 with a minimum of 12 rounds played at Torrey Pines. And we can continue. Most rounds have 67 or better since 98, Paige. This is a happy place for him.
Needless to say.
Needless to say.
Probably collected a few checks, I would say.
Yeah, I would imagine he did, whether he's cashed them or not. I don't know that he needs to necessarily. But let's go back, Paige.
Yes.
The last time we saw him in competition, unofficial event, 18 players, right at the beginning of December at the Hero World Challenge, which he hosted. The introduction on the first tee. It's widely anticipated an opening tee shot, I don't know, since when?
He's had a lot of comebacks, but this one felt different. There was a lot of buzz moving into this week about how he was hitting his driver, how much distance he had off the tee, and he did not disappoint.
No, that was about 30. He got a nice bounce, but still 30 past the guy he was playing with that day, the PGA champion, Justin Thomas. Now here on the 8th with a birdie putt.
One of the other things that impressed a lot of people was the putting on the greens throughout the week. You saw that same rhythm that he used to have, the confidence in which he walked after he struck the putt. It felt different.
It did. So that was an opening round of 69. This shot here, now listen to his reaction, what he says to his caddy.
Come on, Joey. Talk to me, Joey. Get up the yard.
Well, what does he want Joey to say? That's perfect. Because it basically was. And he hit a number of shots like that, not only fans but players in the field were saying, wow, that's impressive. Now for Eagle on the 9th.
Yeah, and I think a lot of fans were just waiting for these moments. They love the fist pumps, seeing Tiger back with the magic.
So he shoots 68, and you're going, wow, he's building on things. Now we move on to the 3rd round here on 17, 10-foot birdie putt.
Yeah, and it was a disappointing day.
Yep.
This is one of the few highlights of the round. Didn't play all that bad, just didn't get a lot of good breaks, didn't gain a lot of momentum throughout the round. Just not his best stuff on the 3rd round.
But gave one of the most pleasant, forthright interviews to Steve Sands after. So we know what day it is when that shirt is on. It's Sunday. That was for birdie on the 5th hole from 15 feet. He would make that. And then here on number 7, after another big second shot, this for Eagle.
And that's that familiar putting stroke. Again, all the energy gone at impact, transferred into the ball, and gotta love the celebration.
No doubt. And the fact that, he was in very good spirits. And if you look at the numbers, an improvement from round 1 to round 2 in terms of fairways hit. Dipped in round 3, but his best performance in terms of playing from the fairway in the final round, and that includes the most greens hit, Damon, in regulation as well.
Well, G-Dub, last night we watched a 40-year-old Tom Brady looking like he's at the height of his power as he brought the New England Patriots on his back to another Super Bowl. A lot of questions about Tiger Woods, age 42. What adjustments, Robert Damron, will he make off that tie for 9 finish at the Hero? What does he have to do to keep this kind of feel-good story going?
There was an odd thing that we saw from Tiger, a Hero, and that's a couple times he hit shots so good that he flew the green. I mean, we all need to work on our distance control, but most of us, me included, I say to myself, okay, my 5-iron goes 190 and I flush it and it doesn't go 190 anymore. Tiger was the other way. He was sending them over the green, never thought he could get it, never thinking he could get it to the hole. You can do all the TrackMan work, you can do all the practice round works. There's no replacement for getting out in competition to get all those dialed in, the yardages dialed in to the number.
Is it adrenaline? You're inside the ropes, you're in competition. Is that why maybe he missed a few greens
that could have accounted for the first day, first few holes, but no, I don't think after that started, after the initial rush on the first tee, he's still accustomed to playing tournament golf over his life. It's not going to be a rush the whole time, but it's not fresh in his mind. He needs to play more. And that's what surprised me. Why wait all this time to go to Torrey Pines to get there? He had a month. He could have played Career Builders last week. He could have played Sony. He needs reps. I know he's Tiger Woods. I know he's great. He needs reps. There's just no other way around it.
What about the short game?
Short game was also, there were 2 days where the short game was incredible at Hero. There were 2 days when it was off. And another thing, he struggled Saturday, which is when the wind kicked up, and that was the toughest day. You can't practice all that stuff. You have to play in competition to be ready for all the wind and the adverse conditions that can happen on the course that you don't really practice and you can't zero in on the range. So I liked what I saw, though, for the most part.
Okay.
We just got to see him more and more and more.
This Tiger Woods analysis will continue quite a bit throughout this week, I imagine. So stay tuned for that. Right, I'll say good morning to Lauren Thompson, who has the tee sheet. How are you?
Good morning. Doing really, really well. What an exciting week in the game of golf for a lot of reasons. We're going to fill you in on that later. But coming up today on Morning Drive, we're going to swing the conversation to another Stanford alum and fellow major champion in Michelle Wie. Now, as the LPGA season gets underway this week, our insider Ron Cyrak is going to join in with some bold predictions, including why this will be a year to remember for Weezy herself. Then, something to brighten up those Monday blues if you got a case of that going on, live golf. And with a four-way tie at the top, who was on cruise control and who admitted their hands were shaking? We've got some serious highlights to dive into for the Web.com Tour's Bahamas Great Abaco Classic. Plus, the goods on Tiger Woods and Torrey Pines. They've got a history together and the relationship continues this week. So what can we learn from his wins at this La Jolla landmark? Well, we're going to revisit the top watch and learn lessons that will have you taking notes on some of the best big cat moments and moves around that layout. But also something that we actively need you to participate in this week. We've got a social media poll going on. It's been out there. Check it out at GC Morning Drive on Twitter. So when the Farmers Insurance Open is said and done at the end of the week, where will Tiger Woods finish? Now, do you think he could log a W? Maybe a top 10? Is making the cut success for Tiger Woods? Also, could he miss the cut? Now, Vegas odds makers, they might be voting for that right now, that missed cut. But where will it all be? Well, we need you to chime in. We're going to get to some of those results later on the show. We want to hear from you. Your tweets, your responses, they could be live on the show today.
You know, Damon already voted on every computer in the newsroom. A win.
Oh,
100 votes from you.
A W already?
Oh, that's what you did.
This week?
You can
Not
only
this
vote
week.
once.
Maybe in the future.